Hey, it's Uppity Unicorn, and it feels good to be back. I think I've gotten my creative juices flowing. Shout out to Zane Good for giving me a little pep talk in my community tab. So, this video is called Dr. Chanita for the Win. Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to play the little 2 minute and 22-second thing that OWN just, the little mashup of what's to come that OWN just released. And then I'm going to put up some pictures, some visuals of each scene. And then I'm going to go through it again with my commentary. Is that all right, y'all? Get it, got it, and good. So let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Sonny, you having kids?
Actually, I'm going to speed this up just a bit because I don't want any issues. I've got to alter the original content in order for me to stay in the clear. Let's go.
Not yet. You know, we're going through IVF right now. I had to listen to my friends ask Sonny about having children with my ex. As a woman, I think y'all would know that that's a hard conversation to have in front of someone.
I think she still love you. My wife ain't going for that. What they call a triple? We don't know who gonna be the side chick yet. I don't know. You know, my wife. Hey, I know the side chick gonna be. I'm not laughing at that one.
Me and Martell never had any sexual relationship. Never went that far.
But you did go this out.
Yes. She married, but she not married, but she engaged. But she still no.
What I heard, he trained Martell. And Martell slid somebody's DMs to get some training.
It ain't none of your goddamn business, though.
This was before me. 4, 5 years ago. No, he could have did that. He was married. He's not DM slide while he's married.
That was the same time that me, you, and Reese, when we went to Las Vegas. Okay?
You might want to be quiet for a minute.
Free Reese! Free Reese!
Free Reese.
What?
What is public knowledge is that he got arrested.
It's a DUI this time, but it could have been worse.
I'm hanging out with some convicts.
Maurice was arrested and got out for the DUI. He was on social media with a bottle of liquor in his hand.
I want to know sincerely how you're feeling in those moments. I can't help what I don't know.
I don't really know if you can help me. I'm gonna defend you to the moon and back. I don't care what none of them say. I'm big on respect. I'm not gonna keep turning the other cheek.
I'm here to fix this. That's why I'm here, straight up. I get it. I f***ed up. I wasn't there. I get it. I'm sorry, Trish. This is worse. That don't let me sleep good at night.
I don't want to with it. I'll close out. See ya. I ain't messing around with Martell. You know that. If you don't know, I'm telling you. Hell no.
I don't have time to keep trying to defend and go back and forth with people all day on the internet. That's problematic for me. One of her proclaimed fans came to my warehouse with her camera out and her friend while I'm cussing and crying, and she takes that to get a warrant for my arrest for guess what? Harassing communications.
But that was her fault.
I'm saying stay where you stand. Do you agree with that? I don't have to say say less.
They all come back and download their feelings, but she's not taking accountability.
Everybody know how I genuinely feel about you. I thought I did too till I heard the interview. Unfortunately, stubborn.
Some of these people not your friends.
Marcel did an interview out here saying, I'm like, why would this dude even fix his mouth to say something about my charge? So what's the problem with you then?
Every time he opens his mouth to say something about Marcel, he can be talking about Martell.
I never say
Marcel knows about Martell. I'm telling you right now, I don't have no respect.
Okay, you a bitch ass. It's like, dude, no. And it's like, bitch, them be together. I'm not saying nothing about it.
What a picture that my dad
Why is Destiny dressed like a coach? She so went there with the intention of getting in the middle of the mess because she doesn't really have a storyline besides outside of Sunny and Moses, these people she abhors, like they're, oh, get a life, like they're just intruding on her. Anyhow, so here's what I'm going to do. I said this before, but I still want to make it a little more clear. I'm going to play this again, and I might speed it up even further for the second play, or I might slow it down. I think I'll slow it down. I'm just going to my settings here. Actually, all right, settings, playback speed. Let's go 0.7.
You having kids?
Not yet. You know, we're going through IVF right now. I had to listen to my friends ask Sunny about having children with my ex. As a woman, like, I think y'all would know that that's a hard conversation to have in front of someone.
Okay, so I left out one of my slides and I can see that now. I left out the slide where I said Destiny was simping for sympathy. I did not upload it to StreamYard, so it's not going to be shared here. So the resting screen is actually going to be this. So do I even want to comment on this? I feel like Destiny knows because she can't whoop everybody. Like when she got into it with Stormy, it's like, all right, this is a little lady, I can whoop her, but she can't whoop Sunny, she can't whoop Chanita. So instead of being the girl who's all raw and I'm about that life, she's taking on the vulnerability and the, oh, I'm hurt and I'm soft and I'm gonna cry, because she's trying to elicit a specific reaction out of the ladies that she can't get if she goes, I'm Detroit Destiny, I'm big Detroit Destiny, I'm like, she can't get it that way. She can't get it that way like she could get it with Tiffany Whitlow. She can't get it that way like she could get it with Stormy. So she's like, all right, plan B, act vulnerable, act semi-feminine. I mean, she's really a very masculine woman. But I don't think it works. Because at the end of every day and night, like, I understand that you and Moses were going to have these little kids. You were going to name them Law and Justice. And as a complete aside, I really and truly believe that Destiny and Moses thought that Law was Moses' son. I really and truly believe that that's what it is. And that's why LeBeric was horrified when Law came out dark-skinned, because he knows what Moses looks like. And why he had to get that DNA test. Allegedly, he ran 3 different paternity tests to prove that Law was his kid. And I think part of the reason Destiny was resistant in naming Law LeBeric Jr. and why she refused, even though LeBeric insisted, is because she thought that that was Moses's kid. I can't prove that, but between Destiny hinting about abortions and taking breaks from LeBeric and it not counting as infidelity on reunions past, it's just the story is kind of writing itself. The things that she is saying and refusing to say, the holes are being filled accidentally. Each different conversation she has, there's another reveal in it that I don't even think that she intends. So anyhow, I get it. And another thing about Moses and Destiny that kills me about Destiny's my ex. I'm like, you said from your own mouth, you knew this man was not your husband. And he said from his own mouth, Destiny is not wife material. It's clear that Moses has love for Destiny. It's clear that Destiny is not over Moses. She was over LeBeric quick, fast, and in a hurry. Clearly using that man, using that mama's boy for his money. And thank God his mama intervened, playing him like a fiddle. But with all this, my ex, it's like you guys were sneaky links, and no one has to honor a sneaky link arrangement. No one has to do that. You're not getting any girl code for that. You're not getting any sympathy, empathy. Like it was a hookup. It was a hookup for 2 people who were smashing, who both said out of their mouths, I know I'm not going to marry this person. I care about this person. This person's a good time. I'm not going to marry this person. So I don't know what sympathy she is expecting. I think she's just dragging this whole thing out to try to make Sunny look like the bad guy. And in reality, she's not.
Still love you, though. My wife ain't going for that. What they call a triple. Yeah, how it work out? We don't know who gonna be the side chick yet. I don't know. My wife. Hey, I know the side chick gonna be.
Now, that was a dirty little joke from Moses. That was a dirty little joke. He said, now, you know who this, Martell is like, oh, you never know who's going to end up in what position. This one might be the wife, this one might be. And Moses is like, no, my wife is my wife. Y'all know who the side chick going to be. He didn't say, psych, I'm just playing. Psych your mind, make your booty shine. No. Y'all know who the side chick going to be. I done moved over here to Huntsville. I'm finna make it easy on myself. I'm finna have the beautiful, I got it all together front-facing life, and that's my coleslaw. Destiny Coleslaw Peyton Williams. Like, that's her. And Martell's like, I'm not gonna laugh at that. I'm not going to laugh. I am not smiling. Like, he trying not to get beat up by Destiny, but I'm just like, it is what it is. And that's why Destiny can't make nice with Sunny. You see, I believe it was an episode or two ago where Latricia was like, do you think you could get him back? She's in my sleep. If I wanted to, I could have him back. No, you can get smashed is what you can get. And you can get it anytime you want it, Destiny. But you can't get wifed. You can't get lifed. You can't get you are my future. You can't get in upon this rock. He built his church and his foundation. You can't get none of that. You can get smashed anytime you want. And the most you can do by getting smashed is upset Sunny. But you can't take her life. You can't take her husband. You can't take the businesses and the legacy that they will build together. You can get smashed. That's what you can get.
I'm not laughing at that one.
Me and Martell never had any sexual relationship. It never went that far.
But you did go to his house.
Yes.
Here's my thing with Trout Mouse Trisha. I don't understand why she and Martell even dragged that whole thing out. If you guys, we never did anything, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why you guys dragged all that out, if that's the point. She came to the house a few times. Like, I didn't remember going to the house, but I did. And yeah, we were going to go to the gym, and I couldn't remember if we were going to go to the gym or the house. Like, the reason you're coming off as trifling, it's not even the fact that you're married and gallivanting publicly with another man. It's the fact that you sit there and you lie in front of everybody. You straight up lied at that gym when you were talking to Latricia or who is it? These unmemorable ass Destiny. You lied in front of Destiny and Stormy, the forgettables. And then you got home to Ken and you were like, but I told them no, but yeah, I did. I couldn't remember if I went to the gym or the house, What gym do you confuse with a house, Latricia? What gym is to be confused with a house? I don't understand. They don't look alike. They don't smell alike. One's a public place, one's a private place. Martell doesn't own a private gym. Remember, he was going to the gym across town and it was always open, aka Ariane, aka during the panorama, where everybody was catching that good Rona. So the gym wasn't in his house, wasn't near his house. He was across town. Like, I don't understand. Because here's what I do see. I do see that Latricia demonstrates on screen, at least, more chemistry with Martell than anyone on the cast, than any male or any female, including Ken. She won't barely open her teeth when she's talking to Ken. She won't barely look that man in the face. But it's full frontal, open body language whenever she's talking to Martell. And Letitia's greedy Latricia is so eager for Mel to have a poor response to something. Every word that what's her name, Latricia, is saying about I've never been with Martell. She's looking at Mel, checking for reactions. Oh, the reactions are over. The reactions were done when Mel had that very iconic sign the papers. The reactions were done. She's not humping Martell. She's not, there's nothing there. There's nothing there, but unfortunately we have 4 kids. 4-piece nuggets. We no longer call them the M&M kids because Martell doesn't deserve to have his name on those kids. And you can get mad at me and be like, well, they're his kids. When you read those court documents about what he did to those kids, then you come talk to me about what I said and how I said it.
She married, but she not married, but she engaged, but she said no.
So here's what I don't like about this scene. It's Chanita who was saying she's married, she's not married, but she's engaged, but she's not. Like, it's Chanita the one who is saying all of the things that need to be said. I mean, really and truly, Chanita is the millimeter representation there. Like, I know Lauren is funny, but Lauren is small and quiet. Lauren is funny, but she's small and quiet. I think Lauren's the kind of person where you don't want to see her get upset. And that she's very, very slow to get upset, because by the time she does get upset, you and I and nobody can do anything about it. So she's more calm in this situation, but just this very vocal Chanita is like, you is or you isn't. You is or you ain't. Like, you married, but you not married. You engaged, but you still married. And then Nell, little ass Nell goes, just tell the truth. I just did. Like, but you're hollering at, this little Care Bear of a woman, this woman who just got done throwing up over the damn deck of the ship because she can't hold her liquor. But when 5'10" came here to win, Dr. Chanita is saying something to you, you got nothing. You and all your muscles got nothing. Chanita was the one who was saying what needed to be said. We're talking about sleeping with Martell. We're talking about you being married and engaged and not really married, but sort of kind of like, damn. And you want to flex at Nell. I don't like it. I don't like it. What are those muscles for if you can't stand up to a woman like Chanita?
I heard you train Martell. And Martell slid somebody DMs. Screw it. To get some training. It ain't none of your goddamn business.
And y'all know good and damn well, Martell doesn't need anyone to train him. Martell builds a body by himself. If he goes to anybody's DMs looking for training, he's not really looking for training, okay? Especially a woman. Women hardly train men, especially when they want to be a big body like Martell. A woman might train a man who was like formerly 600 pounds and trying to get it together, but men who look like Martell, they're trained by themselves or other men. Just so you know, as a woman who worked for 24-hour fitness as a teen, as a woman who worked for LA Fitness, right? As a woman who sold training memberships, who would upsell at the front desk, adding training to people's packages. That's my experience. It's years of experience. I'm just letting you know. Once upon a time, I was a fit chick.
No, this was before me. 4, 5 years ago. No, he could have did that. He was married. He's not DM sliding while he's married.
That was the same time that me, you, and Maurice, when we went to Las Vegas. Okay?
You might want to be quiet for a minute.
Here, I gotta say this though. When Courtney says you might want to be quiet for a minute, does it look like he's looking at Maurice to you? Like, go on ahead and watch this and let me know if you think, like, watch the actual own post. If you think he's looking at Maurice when he's saying, because the way that it's cut, you would think he's talking to Martell. Like, you might want to be quiet. Like, you talking a lot. Like, you disrespecting Ken. You talking all the stuff about sliding in DMs while you were still married and while you guys were in Vegas and whoop, 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 whoop. We remember the Vegas trip. You're not talking about a separate Vegas trip. We have no record of a second Vegas trip. And they did say 4 years ago when you were married and when you were screaming at Melody on the beach about, her song Telltale Signs and calling her Beyonce. And she was like, I don't be calling you Morris Chestnut or nobody. Like, why are you calling me Beyonce? Like, you're trying to mock me and make a fool of me. Like, I got pipe dreams. Gotta pay what you owe, babe. Like the songs is selling. Like, what are you telling me? Like, she's hit number one, like how many times already? What is you trying to say? So they're like, oh, he wasn't sliding while he was married. I'm like, he got people pregnant, and not just Ariane, allegedly, not just Ariane, while he was married. So I don't even know why that's a conversation. I don't know why production doesn't do a better job of clocking these people on their lies. This is why Bravo will always be superior, because this Negro, Carlos King, is so damn biased toward the black male penis. He just worships that's his Lord and Savior. He will do nothing to violate or to hold accountable or to contradict It's just a whole different level of worship. One of the things I love about the Real Housewives of Potomac's production crew is that when somebody like that skunk snuffleupagus looking ass Deborah, who thinks she's fine because she's mixed, but I'm just like, surprise, surprise, you're only fine to colorless black men who hate me in black. Because if you're talking white men who like black women, you got to cut it down to features. You got to cut it down to nose, cheekbones, lips, jawbone, size. Candace is that and you are not. So you're not going to tell me about, I already knew what was up in that situation. So I'm like, you're not going to tell me about Chris, but production was like, well, let's see. Here's the footage. Or even with Giselle, like, yeah, and Chris was all up in my face. And I'm just like, we don't have footage of nothing but you being all up in Chris's face. Gizzard. So what are you talking about? That production, every time these people say something, production will check them and let the audience decide whether that person is right or wrong. But with Carlos, it's like he bends his production to lie and cover for the Scotts and Martell. And it's just a nasty thing to see. And I really and truly believe that this is the reason why the views are dropping. This is why viewership is becoming so low. It's just kind of nosediving on TV dates every week. They're taking this 3-week hiatus and they're talking about, oh, it's for, the New Edition reunion. It's for the Olympics. It's for it's for the DNC. It's for the Democratic National Congress. It's for so we could promote for Kamala Harris. Like, nah. It's because y'all are probably going to have to go right back to the cutting room floor and pick up all the pieces of Kiki you cut out. And pick up all the scenes in Mel that you cut out, because nobody wants to watch the show without Mel on it and refigure it out. That's the only thing that's making sense to me. Because why would your show need to not come on so all these other things can come on? It's not like you're the only primetime slot on that show where, like, oh, everybody's sitting down in front of their TV at 7 p.m. Central, blah, blah, blah. And no one's sitting in front of their TV at any other time. Like, I just call nonsense. That can't be it. You guys are scrambling because what you have submitted to us as a show isn't worth it to us. And you guys may not remember this, but Carlos said on one of these podcasts out here, the viewers don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know what they want to see. We know what they want to see. I'm the one who's been in reality TV for 30-some years, blah, 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 blah. They don't even know what they want to see. You've lost hundreds of thousands of viewers. Clearly, we know what we want to see.
Free Reese. What is public knowledge is that he got arrested.
It's a DUI this time, but it could have been worse.
I'm hanging out with some convicts.
I hate that Marceau said this because, fool, you are all convicts. Latricia's a convict. She was out there, stealing at the malls with strollers and tucking stuff in and whatnot. You have a mugshot. Maurice has a mugshot. Your brothers have mugshots. Martell has mugshots. The only person on that show without a mugshot, who is like Core 6 regular cast, is Mel. Mel and Kimmy. The rest of you guys either got your records expunged, like Martell got his stuff expunged. Well, not anymore, harassing communications and DV and whatnot. But like, don't try to, I hate that Marceau does that. He will know that he's talking about himself and still keep talking about people. I'm hanging out with a bunch of convicts. I'm hanging out with a bunch of criminals. You pose for the same picture from the front to side profile. What are you talking about? You got booked and cuffed like everybody else you're talking about. The Holt family, and I don't mean Melody or her kids. I mean, that fine ass Uncle Holt and his wife who was going to steal the ATM with Martell. The Holt family and the Scott family, y'all two peas in a bucket. I was going to say 2 peas in a pod. and 2 tears in a bucket. Anyhow,
Maurice was arrested and got out for the DUI. He was on social media with a bottle of liquor in his hand.
Like he didn't care that he is an attorney with the reputation to be mindful of. Got that DUI and got back on social media with a big liquor in his hands. Like, so what? I don't care. I am a man. The world is mine. I can do what I want. And Kimmy, you enable this behavior.
I want to know sincerely how you're feeling in those moments. I can't help what I don't know.
I don't really know if you can help me.
Like, Kimmy, that's a mic drop moment, because it's the way that he looked at you when he said it. He's looking at you like, why are you even talking to me? Y'all remember when Kimmy was having that sit down with Kiowa and Maurice, and they were talking about Monster and how she's the heavy with Monster and how she has to enforce everything with Monster. And she was telling Monster to clean up after himself, to wash the dishes after himself and clean his room. And he looked at her and said, why are you telling me? And neither Kiowa nor Maurice said, Monster doesn't talk like that. That he couldn't have said that to you. They were just looking straight like, sounds about right. Because who are you? Like father, like son. Because that is exactly how Maurice is handling Kimmy in this moment. Like, who is you? You can't help me with a damn. The only thing that you could help me with, you already did. You thirsty sugar mama. You already spent all your money on my education so I can become this bunk ass attorney. And you've already put my name on the deed to a house that I did nothing, that you got on your own. You are my financier. You are my venture capital. You are a piggy bank with a slot in the front and a slot in the back. What do you mean help me with? I don't think you can help me. And the nicest way I can say it, why don't you just roll over and suffer through it, all right? Help me. You trying to help Ike? Fine, your ass. You trying to help Ike? Let me know. Take a timestamp and let me know. I quote Tina Turner and The Color Purple and so many Black movies like crazy, and I'm gonna feel so silly if you guys don't get my references. So if you trying to help Ike, take this timestamp and let me know.
I'm gonna defend you to the moon and back. Like, I don't care what none of them say. I'm big on respect. I'm not gonna keep turning the other cheek.
I'm here to fix this. Like, that's
Sir, respectfully, dark skinned Ken, respectfully, you don't have any more cheeks to turn. They slapped you on one side of your face and another side of your face. There are two different times, at the bowling alley and then in this little male get together you guys just had, and this little mashup. They've already slapped you on both cheeks. You don't have another cheek to turn. You better turn up the next time they try you and Trisha. I'm not going to just keep turning trick only because you ran out, sir. Only because you ran out. I don't know how badly you want to be down with Love and Marriage Huntsville, but if you are really a man on some man stuff, go on ahead and take a page out of the book of, what's his name? Lewis. Why do I want to call him Whitfield? Lewis Whitfield? Lewis Whitlow. Take a page out of the Whitlow's book. It might not be the show for you. You might need to, you and your future wife, y'all might need to walk. Because what is all this conversation about Trisha's hind parts? These conversations are going up her skirt. You and all your homies, and there's laughter, and there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Among men, there are etiquettes about my wife. And that's why Martell got cussed out by Chris Fletcher when he kept calling her a side chick, and he was like, she never was, motherfucker. And like he let him have it outside. Like, let's go talk outside, man to man, because you're not going to keep doing my wife like this. That opportunity came twice for you, and you missed it. So turning cheeks, you don't have any left, unless you want to bend over and pull your pants down and let them smack those cheeks as well.
I get it. I up. Like, I wasn't there. I get it. I'm sorry, Trish. This divorce, that don't let me sleep good at night.
I don't want to talk about it. I'll fill this out.
I'm sorry. Forgive me, you guys. I thought this was funny. That single teardrop that fell down his face, and he just cried. And here's the deal: it's not funny. It's not funny. I was sure that this storyline was fake until I saw all the veins pop out on this man's head and him cry. And when people are fake crying, the tears can fall, but when you are real crying, your ears and your sinuses react along with your tear ducts. And I see that on him. So whatever doubt I had about them being really his kids and him being really married to her and this really like I don't have that anymore. And it's looking like he came to the table to save his marriage. But the reason I'm laughing is because it's too little too late. Like, even if you guys were to make up and you were to right all the wrongs, how you treated her is who you are. It wasn't even an accident. It's just who you are. This guy only has empathy and sympathy and feelings for himself and for what he's going through. So even when he's looking Latricia in her face, where her mama done passed away, her daddy done passed away, her sister done passed away, and she don't even know where her head is at half the time trying to support her kids. And he's just like, so it ain't my family. I ain't experienced nothing. I'm fine. I don't care if those people live or kaput. Like, psh, you still need to get up and do your mom thing. I'm out. I got things to do. I'm out here. Like you had no empathy. You did not mourn with her. And I'm telling you, that there is an irreconcilable difference. If you can shrug me off, listen, I have a little link going across the bottom of my video right now, and it says, join me in the fight against multiple myeloma, the blackest cancer. My mother has it, okay? If you could look at me and shrug me off in the midst of crying and hoping and praying for my mother's cancer, or even if the worst happened and you're married to me and you're sharing my body with me, I could never look at you the same. I could never look at you the same. You will never be a man in my eyes. And it doesn't matter where you graduate from or what you do. And even if congratulations, you get to be a man to somebody else. For me, that's all I need to know about you. Don't need to know. No, I know all I need to know about you. And I'm moving forward and I'm never looking behind. I'm never looking back. This guy has an issue where you know how men say that they're the more logical gender? They're not. Because if they were more logical, they wouldn't be unaliving us every time we say, I don't want to give you my number. That's an emotional response. When they beat you or they throw you in a damn New York City dumpster or bat you across the head with a skateboard because you don't want to give them your number, or bite you across the eye because you don't want to let them buy you your liquor from the liquor store because you know what comes after that. And by the way, I'm quoting all situations I've seen with black women and black men on the news where these Negroes just don't know how to take no for an answer. That's emotional. You can reject a woman and she doesn't have to do all of that to you. You can humiliate a woman with your rejection and she's not going to do all that to you. So less emotional gender, my behind. That's not a thing. That's not real. But because they lack empathy where most women have it, they look less emotional because they're not crying when it's time for tears. They're not emoting when it's time for emotions unless it has something to do with them directly. And he's got that bad. Now, I don't know how old or young this guy is. It's given everybody's, hovering somewhere between their 40s and 50s, late 30s at the youngest. So maybe there is some time to mold his brain up out of that so that he is a more caring and considerate person. But I'm looking at him like, the song, not Justin Timberlake, but like the real Cry Me a River because I cried a river over you. Like, bro, get to crying some lakes and ponds. I needed you more than I ever needed anybody in my life. And I said till death do us part and sickness and in health and all this other stuff. And you were just sitting there like everything was everything. Like it was a normal day and she's mourning her parents and her sister. God knew not to set me up like that. God knew not to set me up like that because I'd be like, I bet you don't. I will chase your black ass right into the afterlife. You will not leave me here without you when you are everything to me. I would not be well. And I know I wouldn't be well because I wasn't well when I buried my son, and I wasn't well when I buried my partner. And to be clear, my partner was not the father of my son. I was only engaged to him. My son I had in wedlock. And when I tell you the difference in mourning is why I got that mug annulled, the difference in mourning, that will drive a wedge that don't undrive. So that is why I laughed at Marcus or Marquise. And I'm like, oh, Jesus wept. Marquise wept. Because I'm like, it's so too late for this. It is so too late for this, because even if you couldn't feel Latricia's pain, you should have moved like it. You should have been picking up the slack for the whole next year to come. People be all right at the wake somehow. They be all right somehow at the repast. They be all right somehow at the viewing of the body. But by the time they start lowering that casket into the ground, and you got to walk away from your loved one and they put the dirt on top, I mean, it's something awful. A part of you dies with the people whom you really love. A part of you goes with them, and you feel it. And you feel the death process within yourself. It is nasty stuff. And for him to be the husband and to be not there for, I'm like, you crying now? You crying now? I got dead parents over here and a dead sister over here. And you're somewhere worried about how you feel about Ken taking your kids to practice and to dances and to rehearsals. And boy, get out my face, child. Boy, get out of my face, you undeveloped ass. Like no. No. I'm supposed to, I'm not going to belabor the point, but if there is any soft spot that I have for Trisha, it's this. Because I also went through something similar where the mourning was so different, it caused an irreconcilable difference. By the way, multiple myeloma, I call it the blackest cancer because it affects Black people and people of African descent the most. And it's a very unpopular cancer that doesn't have a whole lot of awareness around it because it affects Black people the most. It's not something like breast cancer or brain cancer or lung cancer, where you have a lot of mainstream American people who are not, our color affected. So it's a neglected kind of cancer that is actually not so rare. It's just that it affects us the most, and many people don't care. And so that's why that invitation is there for you to join me in the fight, because this is our fight. As African Americans, as Negroes, as Africans, this is our fight. And no one's going to pick it up for us. It's not that palm-colored people don't get it. It's just that 9 times out of 10, it's us.
See ya.
Let me lighten this up a bit. Because he's crying.
On social media.
I should say that watching Latricia finally handle her business, I really respected that, because when it comes to what has been depicted of her on the show, she has been really, really kind of bird-brained about the whole process, and kind of tight-lipped and tight-jawed and clenched teeth about whether or not she's ready to sign these papers and to handle him and to initiate the process. She seemed to have some kind of a break in communication every single time someone asked her, every single time Ken asked her or the girls asked her, wherever it was, she just had some kind of an issue. So this is just me giving her flowers. Like, finally, you did it.
With a bottle of liquor in his hand.
respect. I'm not gonna keep turning the other cheek. I'm here to fix this. Like, that's why I'm here, straight up. I get it. I up. Like, I wasn't there. I get it. I'm sorry, Trish. This divorce, that don't let me sleep good at night.
You want to talk about it? I'll fill this out. See ya.
Dude is crying over divorce after being separated for 6 years. Separated for 6 years. Like, how is
What's
this?
the problem with you then?
Let me get to this nonsense. Destiny is so desperate for Mel's attention. She don't barely know what to do with herself. I don't know why this is loading like that. Lord, let me try to play it again.
I'm a defend.
Messing around with Martell, and you know, if you don't know, I'm telling you, hell no.
I don't like that, Destiny. Like the way she leans into Mel's face. If you don't know, I'm telling you no. Hell no. And it's like, back your big eyes the hell up, Destiny. Your big eyes, your big weave, like back it up out of my face. What is all this extra theatrical body language? Look how uninterested Mel looks in this scene. We don't care what you do with Martell, what you do or don't do. Schmoozing ass, like anything to get back in Mel's good graces. But once you diss this woman's mom, once you tell Vanessa to worry about pimping her daughter, you can kiss a relationship or a friendship goodbye. I don't know if it was Dr. Chanita or who said Destiny was kissing Mel's ass on this trip, but I can absolutely see it. Just from this little, like it was somebody on social media who went to this girl's trip who said somebody was being real fake. It could have been Stormy or Chanita. I don't really remember, but I remember what I read. And now that the footage is out, is making sense. And even in that table scene, Destiny is sitting next to Mel. I'm like, how many people did you elbow for that seat next to Mel? Because you can kiss a friendship and a handout goodbye, Destiny. Thank you for your services.
Have time to keep trying to defend and go back and forth with people all day on the internet. That's problematic for me. One of her proclaimed fans came to my warehouse with her camera out and her friend while I'm cussing and crying, and she takes that to get a warrant for my arrest for guess what? Harassing communications. But that wasn't her fault. I'm saying state where you stand. Do you agree with that? I don't have to say. Say less. They all come back to download.
And she's right. She doesn't have to say anything because quiet as is kept. You told that story all wrong, Stormy. And I don't know what mugshot you're talking about because we've looked you up. We've looked your case up. We've run your names. Ain't no mugshot. Ain't no warrant. It's a couple of Stormy Stills, Stormy J Stills and Stormy whoever. And it no. So what are you really talking about? What are you really talking about? You're talking to her about some millimeter who ran up on you, but you are leaving out for everybody that this was an elderly woman. You got a woman in her 60s and a woman in her 70s who came to purchase Canvas Beauty hair products from your warehouse because your ass wasn't shipping the product out. You were thousands of orders behind, and they thought that if they came to the warehouse, they might be able to purchase product. And they said as much in the video that we have all seen. You left that part out. You left the part out where Courtney comes out and intimidates those old Black women, those senior citizens. It's not like Uppity Unicorn or somebody who looks like Chanita ran up on your warehouse. It's not like some linebacker looking woman who looks like she can hurt somebody came to your warehouse. He's fragile, frail bone having, elder women came to purchase product. They didn't come to antagonize you. They didn't come to do anything to you. They didn't much have a problem with you. They only started screaming back when Courtney came out there being vicious and violent. And the reason you would have caught a charge is because you ran out after her. Do you understand that we were watching her and she didn't even know if that was your warehouse? If you'd have stayed, your Stormy, steal your money behind inside of those doors, she wouldn't have even been certain whether or not that was Canvas Beauty or not, because the parking lot was shared. It was in a warehouse district with a ton of different warehouses. She made a guess. She made an educated guess about which one might be you and tried your doors. And before she even got to the door, this woman never opened the door. She never went inside the way that Carlos King lied on her and said. Carlos King got on his little podcast and lied on Black Titanic, talking about, oh, she opened the doors and she went inside. That little lady didn't do nothing of the sort. She wasn't barely on the sidewalk next to Canvas. She was still in the public parking lot that Canvas does not own, and nobody in that warehouse district owns, because it is shared public property. That's where she was. And you recognized her, Stormy. You were the one who was live. You didn't tell nobody at the table that you were the one who was recording the live footage. She was recording on her phone to make an upload. You were the one on your live stream at your warehouse with your raggedy, dirty, sick dog running around with that lampshade on its neck. You were the one who was live. You were the one who was live streaming. You were the one who if you were so scared, you moved yourself in a place of danger by opening the door, running, bitch, get back in your car, bitch, you too old to do this shit, bitch, I'm gonna shoot you. Like all the things that you said to that woman. Now, of course, her decade younger friend she might still want to knuck if you buck. But Black Titanic was like, come on, let's go. Black Titanic is the blogger you're talking about, the quote unquote millimeter you're talking about. I don't know if she's a millimeter or not. I don't know if I've ever heard her claim being a millimeter, but that's really not the point. You were the one who did something to Black Titanic. She is not the one who did something to you. And y'all piss me off with this, oh, these people are taking it too far. This is what investigative journalism is. This is what you do. You snoop, you seek, you find, you dig. That is what journalism is. And that's what a lot of these bloggers are doing, whether they're certified or not. We talk about Ida B. Wells all the time and what she did for the African-American community through being an investigative journalist. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to look it up. Ida B. Wells was so young when she started. I'm not sure she had a degree by the time she did it. It's people out here who know how to. I mean, there was a guy on Democracy Now! Who did an incredible exegesis on the life and the works and the times of Amadou Eliki down to when he was assassinated by Barack Obama's administration. And what sucks is that Anwar was an American citizen. He was not given due process. You see how I can rattle all that shit off? All of that information without having to Google it, without I majored in journalism. So I have these journalistic sensitivities and I know what I'm looking at when I look at it. And Black Titanic, I mean, you guys might, want to turn your nose up at people who don't have degrees, but it's a knowledgeable woman that you're dealing with. It's a woman who's trying to give you information and she's trying to give you the facts, both on your history and on your current events. So for all the people who are like, oh, you shouldn't have went up there, girl, bye. I don't want to hear none of it. I don't want to hear none of it. I remember Lovely T when she used to creep up on college campuses and whatever else. And people respect Lovely T because she's got 1 million subscribers. And, I love me. If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. Join in the family. It's the Lovely T TV show. Bringing you good news and good vibes. Be sure to share. So don't even get it twisted. I love me some Lovely T. I know all the goddamn songs. Are you ready? Yeah, you get ready. Right? I know all the purple things. Okay, so this is not a diss on her, but I'm using her as an example to say she had to start from somewhere. She was in her bedroom giving you tea. She was on college campuses, getting disrespected. Who are you? Where's your press pass? You ain't a damn. Getting shit on by people until she earned her respect. Let Black Titanic earn her respect. Let every blogger out here separate themselves from the wannabes by earning their respect and having integrity and reporting on facts, making retractions when they've made a mistake. You got to let people spread their wings and fly. And that's what she was trying to do. And quiet as it's kept, some of us have not walked up on somebody's business, but we are known for, passing around the collection plate to get these case numbers and these case files and to look into Madison County and whatever else. Black Titanic didn't do nothing different. She didn't do nothing different. Why are we mad? Why are we mad? Why are we calling that stalking? We don't call Don Lemon a stalker. We don't call whoever else is doing the news a stalker when they know these things and that thing. There was a black girl on the Breakfast Club who broke down every single police gang there was. She ain't got no journalism degree, but she studied that with journalistic integrity and brought something to African Americans that they can use when you're looking at the case of somebody like a Sonia Macy or a Sandra Bland. You shit on these people today and you thank them tomorrow. And then you wonder why people get successful and switch up, because they remember when they were smaller, you didn't have their backs like that. When they were on the come up, you made fun of them. Black Titanic don't want Stormy. She don't got the hots for her. She don't want her. She don't want to taste. This ain't no stalker. This ain't no creep. This ain't no obsessed. Like I hate that y'all did that. I hate that y'all gave into that messy rhetoric. I hate that your minds, like some of these people who call themselves millimeters, are truly, really and truly not critical thinkers. Black Titanic did nothing wrong by going up there. Now, when it comes to these stories about Stormy running up on in the bathroom at Stand Up Live on Black Titanic, I have no evidence or reason to believe that that's true. When it comes to, Stormy caught a case behind Black Titanic, I have no reason to believe that that's true. We sat there on live when Tay Talks. We went through the cases. We looked up the names. We pulled the this and that. And no one's pulled a mugshot or anything from Stormy. So even when she was on the show coming back from whatever precinct, we're like, show the precinct, girl. Show the court, girl. Where are the cameras? Why are they just on you? Why is the background blurry? Where you at, girl? You want to act like you caught a charge. You want to act like you got hooked and booked. You want to, no, we don't believe you. You need more people. And Mel doesn't have to say a damn thing, because in truth, you harassed that elderly woman. You harassed her. That is what you did. You could have left her outside wandering, like the children of Israel, wandering around that mountain for half of forever before they got to the promised land. You could have let her ass wander right back into her car. But you wanted to get buck. You see, you wouldn't talk to Chanita the way you came out your mouth talking to Black Titanic. And that's what I don't like. I don't like it when people act big and bad in one case and not in another. You want to get big and bad on vulnerable people. And I don't like that. So Mel is within her right not to respond. Mel does not have to come to every comment section and save you. Mel is busy, busy, busy. Mel reads more DMs than I do. It's people I like who send me DMs from the YouTube community that I never respond to, because I don't have the bandwidth to open communication with people and to keep it open. It exhausts me. Every time I heart something of Mel's or comment on something, and Mel's not really getting down with me like that. Like Mel sent the Gossip Girls and whoever else, the 7th Avenue things. Like she's, I'm not on the radar like that. Is what I'm trying to say. I ain't get none of that. I'm not on the radar like that. But still, she would take her time to heart a comment, or if I asked about Melicon dates or whatever else, she would take her time to say something. That's a lot of work. Who wants to add on top of that windmilling in the comment section every time somebody says some bull crap about Stormy? Because we've seen your comment section too, girl. And you're not windmilling every time somebody says something about Mel. You're not windmilling when your mom is a part of groups on Facebook that are calling Sugar Mama's hair pubic hair. I mean, let's just talk about it. Let's just have the conversation. You're not. But these double standards, these nasty ass double standards, like they're really doing you in, and you want to be liked by the viewership, and you can't be when you're like this. whatever you expect of Mel, it has to apply across the board, or just dead it. Dead it and it's done. It doesn't make any sense to hold Mel to the standard of God and let everybody else run around like little imps and devils. Y'all see people talking about her kids? Y'all see people dragging her? You on the internet making fun of her hair because she was growing out her hair. Okay, Stormy, you've got great hair. You've got great hair and you grow a lot of it. Mel started growing out her hair and people were proud of her progress. And she was like, oh, I heard people were celebrating a little toodaloop. A toodaloop is one of them little tiny ass ponytails that really don't got no hair in it. You remember them little ponytails from middle school with the girls who burnt off all their hair trying to do their hair on their own because in 6th grade, your mama stopped doing your hair and told you you're big enough to pull that mess in a ponytail and slick you some edges? A toodaloop. The little tiny ponytails where you could tell if the girl went to school like that and if it was fanned out, she could fight. A toodaloop. That was you on the internet. That was you and your mama all over the internet talking about Mel, calling her all kind of hoes and beating down on her name and her reputation and her family. So why does she have to get on the internet and defend you every time somebody says something about you? And this goes all the way back to when you were like, well, people could have assumed that I was the one recording in your house. Dude, it clearly wasn't about you. Every millimeter was on Martell for trying to drop devices off with the kids and getting them iPhones and reverse engineering his little shared family plan with Mel so that, you know, her phone calls could go to his phone, but whoever did it didn't know what they were doing and accidentally sent his phone calls to her phone. And she was getting all kind of Destiny all time of night and other women and whoever else. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to ask Mel to do for you what you have never done for her.
She's not taking accountability.
Everybody know how I genuinely feel about
Everybody
you.
know.
I thought I did too till I heard that interview. Unfortunately, stubborn.
Some of these people not your friends.
I'm not the one. I'm not. You hear Latricia about to... Listen, I want to believe that Nell is this wise elder who can mentor the girls, but in reality, Nell is just she's just like everybody else, just a little older. She's just like Latricia. She's just like Kimmy. She's just like Destiny. She's just a little older. And I think for millennials, that is very difficult because we are the final generation of, you know, you get slapped if you don't respect your elders. And so we're thinking you're an elder, you're going to be fair, you're going to settle the score, you're going to be the scales of justice. And they ain't. And they ain't. It's like looking to Wanda or something for fairness. Like we are the generation who had to learn these elders don't always deserve that elder respect. Like maybe I respect you as the homie or I respect you as somebody on my level, but age has not really changed you in the ways that we thought it would. It hasn't refined you and perfected you in the ways that we thought it would. So, you know, I mean, even with Chris, it's like, you know, you're not the mentor, you're the homie. And Nell, you know, I expected her behavior to be above these other women. And I'm just like, it's not, it's not. she got Kimmy and Tisha all up in her sister system. Like it makes sense for her to hang around them. And the way that she switched up on Mel, like I don't really have nothing for that. I don't really have anything for that. But I love this as a checkmate moment because she's like, oh, everybody knows how I feel about you and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you've been talking to everybody too. And they've been making you feel bad about how you feel about her. And you've been trying to appease everybody else by trying to cool out on Mel and trying to show people and prove to people that you can criticize her too. And you did too much where it didn't belong. So, yeah, I mean, I love that Mel is showing you exactly what you said and did and how it made her feel. And Mel, great with the bob. The bob, honey, the bob is bobbing. The bob.
I
want to hear it again. Wait.
I'm saying stay with that.
She's not taking accountability. Everybody know how I genuinely
I'm not
feel
listening
about
for
you.
Nell. I'm listening for
I
Latricia.
did too
Let
till
me
I heard that interview.
find her. Where is she?
Unfortunately, stubborn.
Some of these people not your friends.
I'm not the fucking one. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. I'm not. I'm practicing. I'm practicing. I'm not the fucking one. I'm not the. Apparently, you are the one. And judging by the way that your body is spread all across this bathing suit, you the one, the two, the three, and the four. Girl, Chanita gave you the same energy that you were giving Mel, and you couldn't handle it, and you broke down and you cried, and that's the real reason why you look for your mama and Kimmy to defend you in every single fight, because this is how you come apart. This is how you come apart when you know you've been bested. This is what you do.
Even fix his mouth to say something about
Oh no!
my charge. So what's the problem with you then? Every time he opens his mouth and says something about Marceau, he gonna be talking about Martell. Marceau knows about Martell. I'm telling you right now, I don't have no respect for you. Okay, you.
Wait, when I tell you Letitia's face looks like this for several shots, for several shots, okay? Face sucked in, eyes damn near crossed. I mean, it's like, you know, that do the noodle dance. Noodle. Use your noodle dance. Noodle. Noodle. Tisha is using her noodle and it's rough. This is hard on her. There have been 3 different like takes. There are 3 different cameras. You know how the cameras will give you a different angle, and there are like, you know, 3 to 4 people filming at the same time, so you can get the scene from multiple angles. Her face is like this for several seconds thinking, and I'm just like, girl, what is there to put together? Martell is telling you in your face, they used to hump girls together. They used to do them together. He is telling you in your face, well, where the pictures at? It don't always got to be pictures. It don't always got to be pictures. I mean, give Martell a lie detector test. If he's such a liar, right? It'll come out when he's lying and when he's telling the truth. And when Martell is lying, here's what I've noticed about him. He always has to scratch his nose, adjust his clothes, and clear his throat. Every time Martell is lying, he does one of those 3 things. He flicks or touches his nose, he adjusts his clothes, and he clears him throat. Let me clear my throat. Like he that's how he does it. That's how he does it. And I mean, Martell did not stutter in this here scene. He did not stutter. He did not mince words. Check it out. Shut up, Kimmy. I hate to hear Kimmy talk about as much as I used to love to hear her speak. It's that bad. Martell, what are you doing? You know what he's doing. He's doing what y'all did to Mel. He's throwing out the details. He's letting y'all have it. And I'm like this. Spill the tea, Martell. Spill it. I don't mind a little Love and Martell's Huntsville. You know, normally I'm like, oh, this is Love and Melody's Huntsville is what it is. It's the Melody show. I don't mind a little Love and Martell's Huntsville. I don't mind a little Martell being the main event and the main feature and the ringleader for the circus of clowns. I don't mind. Tell the parts we've been missing. You're trying to over talk Martell because you don't want him to out these fools. Because quiet as it's kept, all of these husbands pillow talk to their wives. All of them pillow talk. So when Mel let go of the pillow talk, y'all tried to blame Mel for starting rumors. But I'm like, it's the same stuff Marcel was saying to Latricia about Melody in her life, right? Marcel is pillow talking to Latricia. Maurice is pillow talking to Kimmy. And Martell used to be in a position to pillow talk to Mel. And you can't sit up there and say it's a lie. Kimmy, you can just interrupt with your squeaky, annoying voice and try to drown out what Martell is saying. Production is doing a bang-up job making it so people can't understand what Martell is saying. They keep making all these little bleep, 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 like trying to bleep out what he's saying. And I'm just like, let that nigga rock. Let him rock. I want to rock right now. Like, let him go. But he's like, nah, it's B words we used to F together. That was clear as hell. If you couldn't hear it, you could see his mouth making the words if you read lips. Yeah, it's B's we used to F together. Oh, where are the pictures? Why would we be posing for selfies while we're both in the same woman? Latricia. Why do you always need a picture, Latricia? Here's the deal. Every time somebody talks about Marceau cheating, Latricia goes from panic to how do I deflect? Remember on that reunion a long time ago when Egypt Sherrod was hosting, and she said to Martell, well, how do you know, Martell? Were you there? He's like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there when he was cheating on you. And Mel was like, oh, okay. And then instead of Latricia like Marceau, explain yourself. And instead of all of that, well, didn't Marceau say that Mel was trying to have sex with him? Didn't you ask Marceau if Mel was trying to? Man, please. Marceau is a mellometer, is a closeted mellometer. Mel does not have to try anything with Marceau. She does not have to try anything. You have walked into meetings and been ambushed by your own husband taking Mel's side. All right, chick? Marceau was always trying to inch his way close to Mel. His favorite scenes are the one-on-ones with Mel. And with the way that he talks to everybody else, he'll sit Mel down and say, you know what? Me and you are two intelligent individuals. We are two intelligent adults. He don't talk to you that way. He don't talk to you that way. That Negro has glee in his face every time you get to sit down with Mel, even if it's a difficult sit down. And he'll come back to you on her side. Because Mel makes sense to Marceau. Now, Marceau is a corrupt human being, so he doesn't have to do right by Mel, but she makes sense to him. You're the one who doesn't. You're the one who doesn't. And I'm not saying, I used to think Marceau didn't love Latricia. I really felt that way. But now I'm really convinced that he does love her. I think that he has unconditional love for Latricia. But that love is not romantic. That love is familial. That love is, you are the mother of my kids. You are my wife. You are my foundation in life. That love is not, it does not have lust. It does not have, you turn me on, you drive me wild. It does not have, I only have eyes for you. It's none of that. Because he got eyes for what is it, Kyra? From Ready to Love. Y'all done ran her off the network trying to slander that poor girl. That poor girl who would never stoop so low. That's a real attorney who knows how to keep her reputation clean. Unlike what's this Maurice fool. So they have this tactic, and they used to do it to Kiki all the time. Kiki, give me a word, Kiki. Drop something in my spirit, and I will say it, Kiki. But they're doing this tactic that they used to do to Kiki, where they would just keep over talking her so that the cameras couldn't pick her up well. They would just gang up on her, even if it was only using the cacophony of their voices to override what she was saying. So she would just look kind of ridiculous, and she would have to scream over all of these people. And it would like, oh, look at her. Look at how she's behaving. And it's just like, y'all are 4 people talking over me. And so I got to become 3 mofolk just to be heard. And so they're trying to do that with Martell, but Martell screams and shouts. Martell goes full tantrum. You gonna get some of it. You gonna get some of what he's saying. And they do enough bleepity bleep 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 sound effects to protect the Scots. But I'm just like, go ahead and have some interviews, Martell. Go ahead and do your YouTube tour. Your tour is the one that everybody's waiting for. Go on ahead and go to the different channels and you tell your story. You tell your what is the surviving R. Kelly, the surviving the Scots story and what you've been through with them. Because here's what I believe. I believe Martell is a dope. And I think Martell is vulnerable enough as an adult to be manipulated by Marceau. And I think Marceau wanted to play him at a male. Because Marceau didn't enjoy that triangle that the comeback group was. It was 2 Scots on the bottom and the Holtz at the pinnacle. And he didn't like that. And he knew Mel was the secret to that. And he always wanted to rearrange that. And he helped that man cheat himself out of a good life. And now he talks to Martell like, I have no respect for you. You're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing. You couldn't say that before when he was married to Mel, when he was married to the comeback of the comeback group. So spill it. Spill it, Martell. And of course, Latricia, can we go? Can we go? Can we leave? Can we go? Yeah, because you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear what's really real. And here's the deal. We already know you know. We already know you know. So a lot of people, they don't even really care. Because most adult women over 40, in their 30s, you may not have this kind of discernment when you're a teen or in your 20s because you don't have that kind of experience. But when you get older and you've made friends and lost friends and, you know, all your friends are married, all your friends, you know, a wife that looks the other way when you see one. Okay. You know, a wife who looks the other way when you see one. And I'm telling you, Kimmy and Latricia look the other way. And if you want to be a Scott wife, those are the rules. Open up your pocketbook, the one in your hands and the one in between your legs, and just turn the other way when you see something you don't like. Subjugating woman is the name of their game. So anyhow, Latricia, word of advice, be who you want to be. But if you're going to do the BBLs, according to Martell, you had 2 BBLs and a mommy makeover, and Marceau still wasn't into it. I want you to focus on the top part of your body. Because if I had the money you claim to have, that's what I would be doing. I would be handling the back fat. I would be handling the arm fat. I would be handling the neck fat. I would be doing some micro body contouring. I would try to make, because the bottom half here is fine. It's smooth. Your BBL worked out, I think. In my opinion. I don't know if it's your second BBL or whatever, but like it worked out in my opinion. Lower half looks fine. Lower half does not belong to the top half. The top half belongs to a much bigger woman than the bottom half does. There are people who can work on your arms to the point where they don't just suck out the fat, they can actually contour the arm. You need a smaller arm for that body, and you need a lighter back. The back should not be so heavy. You can actually have the little pooch, okay? The little pooch, the little tummy, that can be cute. Everybody doesn't have to have a flat tummy, but you really want to get rid of the back and arm fat if you want to pass that off as a natural body. Because right now, you just look like Wanda with a BBL, okay? And I know a lot of Black women are worried about the back because Black men are concerned about the back. And by the back, I mean the booty. But no, this is, if you cut this picture in half, it's way too much upper back for lower half. Okay. And that is not said as an insult, because I'm telling you, if I had the money, that is where my concern would be. I would not be concerned with a BBL. I would be concerned about getting some of the fat from around, you know, midsection fat is where you get diabetes, right? Because all that fat that sits around your organs, all that fat and sugar. I'd be worried about midsection and upper body. So that's all I got. Ain't got no more. My link to the GoFundMe is below the video. And honestly, anything helps. Even if you were only to give $1, it would be so many people giving $1 until it makes sense. Nice little pun there. Anyhow, let's get the conversation going. Whether you agreed with me or disagreed with me, I always say that these shows, that you can learn anything from any media. There will always be a gem to take home from media, whether it is smut media or it is edifying for the spirit, if it's the History Channel, if it's, there's always a takeaway. So let's start the discussion. I am Uppity, and I am out of here.